When the ball's in the rough, you walk up to it, what's the first things that you're looking for?
Can I get the club on or not? Being in Bermuda rough, it's crazy. The ball sits up or sits down. All you need is like an inch of Bermuda rough. It changes everything. Rye, it's completely different. It's so much easier to control. But down here in Florida with Bermuda, you can get lies that are just, just borderline. Whether you can try to judge a lie, whether it's going to be hot, it's going to be soft, whether I can curve it or not curve it. There's so many different things to trying to figure that out.
I think ultimately what makes Tiger so good controlling his shots out of the rough is that he understands the right angle of attack to produce the right type of shot. Read the situation and read the lie, and then understand how to make those kind of adjustments. I gotta try to hold it off a little bit. I gotta try to give it a little more right hand. He's gonna play the right type of shot for that lie.
Unfortunately, I'm back here in the rough again. I've got 145 yards out. I've got a really good lie here. It's sitting down grain. You can see the grass is laying towards the flag. It's sitting up, and I'm feeling, since the ball is slightly uphill, I'm gonna hit a 9-iron, feeling 145 yards. Out of Bermuda rough like this, a good lie, it's probably gonna come out just a little bit fast. I'll try and take a little bit of that speed out of it with my hands. I'll be a little bit softer, a little bit slower with my right hand, so that I can get a little more loft and not let that toe get wrapped around there. So I'm trying to feel a high softy with my right hand underneath it, just a touch. Try and keep that speed out of it because it is sitting down grain and it's clean.
In terms of deciding on club and how the rough affects distance, how do you go about calculating that?
If the ball's sitting down grain, it's relatively easy to control. But ever so slightly into the grain, that ball tends to either knuckle or dive. And then trying to figure out whether or not I have slightly wet lie or is bone dry. Those wet lies tend to get big time jumpers for me. My entire career, I've never played with square groove clubs. And so I've always have enjoyed having the flier as an option, having V grooves my entire career. I pick out my alignment from behind the golf ball. As I'm getting into it, I'll make that slight adjustment. Like I can feel like this tree is coming a little bit into my eye. So I would then make a slight adjustment with my feet, aim it slightly further left, maybe like a yard or so, but still trying to keep the feel of that right hand being slightly underneath that golf ball. I've got the alignment, I've got a feel for it. I got a little gust I just picked up in my right side. That's gonna change my alignment just maybe about a yard further left. Keep that feel, that right hand in there. I feel that tree, so I'm gonna get just one tick further left. And I held it off nicely. That's a good shot.
Let's say you're talking to someone who may not have that experience and they might not know how to identify a flier lie, whether it's going to come out hot or whether it's just going to, bumble out 50 yards. What's the best advice you can give for people of just how to identify that type of lie?
Well, if it's sitting down grain or not, that has a lot to do with it. The flyers tend to come when the ball's sitting down grain, but those kind of halfway lies, that's where it's just experience, trying to figure those shots out. I mean, over the years, I can tell you if this ball's going to jump or not, but also there's plenty of times when I've been wrong, and I've airmailed it long or come up short in water. You're gonna have your ups and downs with it. Here we are with a welcome to Florida Bermuda flyer lie. This ball is sitting down just a touch, so The lie I just played from previously was sitting clean, sitting there. I can get a club on the back of that golf ball. As soon as I put it into here, now I've got grass stuck in between my club head and my golf ball. Obviously when that happens, the grass liquefies, you can't get traction on the golf ball, it fills up the grooves and produces a little knuckler or a flyer. Because it is flying just a touch, I will choke down on this one just a little bit to take some yards off of it. I'll then start to feel it is going to fly, so I'm going to take less steepness into the golf ball. The steeper I come down into it, the more it's want to jump. In this case, I'm going to take a little bit of that off of it by shallowing it out. I'll shallow it out with my right hand, holding it just a little bit into the golf ball, and then I'll shallow out here. It's going to come out just a little bit warm. I'm going to try and take some of that distance off of it and the hotness out of it by, again, choking down just a touch of it a little bit. My right hand then feeling just a little bit of hold. And because of this hill, I'm feeling a little bit of left hand pull just after impact. And so I'll hold the loft on with the right hand and I'll pull with the left. All right, so I got 145 yards. Ball slightly on the uphill lie. Pins back. Ball's gonna come out a little bit warm. I'm gonna hold it off a little bit after impact, and I'm gonna pull with my left to add a little bit of height to the shot and a little bit of softness to it. Like that.
What's harder to control for you, if it's sitting down deep or a flyer lie?
Deep. I mean, you can't do anything with it. If it's sitting up, I'd much rather have that option of catching a jumper or a flyer, or having that option to get the ball down there. But if it's sitting down, sometimes it's just useless in trying to get the ball to get to the green. And I just trust my short game.
It's your hack and hope.
Absolutely. We have 145 yards out here, and it's so interesting how different Bermuda can be. I had a flyer lie a couple inches away from it. Now I've got a ball that's buried in the rough. I've got so much grass between the club head and the ball. In this lie, even though I have 145 yards out, in the last shot I was talking about taking a little stuff off of it. Here I can't get to the green. Ball sitting so far down that I can't physically have enough speed to get it 100, maybe 120 yards if I get lucky. I have a bunker here between myself and the hole. So the spot I'm looking at with this lie is, where's my miss going to be? Right's dead, I have no angle, so I'm going to play short left. You know, the lie like this, even though I have 145 yards out, which would normally be an easy 9-iron or wedge, here I'm just playing short left of the green, trusting my short game to get up and down and move on.
How much is knowledge of type of grass important to understanding really how rough works?
It is. I think that's where just experience of playing on all different types of grasses, and one of the reasons why I've always wanted to play around the world is to be able to handle all different types of conditions. And also one of the reasons why I moved down to the South and got out of California, because it's very easy to play there. Coming down into Florida and learning how to putt on Bermuda, learning how to chip on Bermuda, that took years. And so, so that's just one of the things that I've learned just through experience. Well, the lie like this, I can't get to the back of the golf ball. So I'm just gonna hit a little bit further behind it. I'm just gonna put a lot of speed into it and hopefully steer it more towards the left. I've always had really tight hands on the golf club, so that doesn't change. With a lie like this, yes, I will get a little bit steeper on it. The ball will be a little further back. And I'm just hitting straight down top of it and just trying to hopefully get it up towards the left side so I can use my short game. So I'm just gonna play short left. I'm gonna play the ball a little further back in my stance. I'm gonna hit down on it and just try and kind of pop it up more towards the left side. Not even worried about going at the flag. Just trying to leave myself a nice little chip shot and move on. There we go.
If you can't hook it, slice it, hit it high, hit it low, if you only have one shot, then it's a lot harder to pull off. Having that shot maker thing is kind of the critical element.
It all starts with speed. If you have the speed, playing on the rough becomes much easier. And then obviously the shape of swing that you have. If it's naturally a little bit steeper or if it's shallower, it becomes a little more difficult. And guys who tend to play fades, obviously a little bit steeper naturally, so hitting out of the rough is a little bit easier. Guys who play draws, have a little harder time because they're a little shallower in the rough.